Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be showing you how you can install MySQL Server using Docker. So we are still in our containerization series, and in this video, we want to see how we can use Docker to install our database server. So one of the main advantages of Docker is how it makes you to do things very easily. So I've installed MySQL Server in the past. I've installed Workbench. I've installed a couple of database servers natively, and I can tell you, um, because of the dependencies that many of these DB servers have, if you don't really, if you are not very comfortable in terms of putting different components together, you might have some installation issues. But when it comes to Docker, as long as you have Docker installed in your computer and you can work with containers, in 2 seconds, we are going to have our MySQL server database working in less than 2 seconds. Whereas if you want to install it natively, it usually takes a longer time. So without talking so much, let me just go straight to it. So I already have Docker installed in my computer, and there are just two commands I will be running, and hopefully we'll be able to have access to our database. Yeah, so the first command that will be to make this video, to make it faster, I already have the commands in Notepad somewhere else. So I'll just copy and paste them. So what we want to do, as I said earlier on, is we want to install MySQL. We want to be able to use MySQL. And so we have Docker run. We want to run our Docker container. So this is the container name. So the container name I have here is MySQL IO2. So let me change this to, because I ran this previously, and even though I've deleted the container, but let's just use, okay, so to make it much better, let me remove the two SQL. Let me make it MySQL IO. So MySQL IO is the name of the container. Then want to restart on failure. Then we are running it in the background daemon. We are setting environment variables because I mean, when you are configuring MySQL, you must have a password, an admin password. Then we are using MySQL image. This is the image we are using. So let me change this password to instead of 1, 2, 3, let me make it 4, 5, 6. Okay, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So I believe this script is clear. So we are using the MySQL image. We are setting our password as an environment variable. We are running in background. We want to restart. We are running the daemon. We want to restart on failure. And the name of our container is MySQL-IO. And Docker run is to run a container. So I'm running this. Yeah, so we have the container ID already. So this is already working. So what we are going to do is we would now want to we have our database set up already, but we now want to execute our container. So it's already running. If I should enter Docker PS, we'll see that our container is working. And you can see it's 34 seconds ago. So it's working. But now we want to have access to our database. So what I will do is let me copy Please. Yeah. So I will change the name. So we are executing our container. Instead of two, I'll change this to IO. So let me just, so assuming we were on command prompt, we wouldn't need to use WinPty, but because I'm using bash, that's why I'm using this to specify that I'm in Windows environment, even though I'm using the Linux-based terminal. So that's why I'm specifying this. Then I'm executing this container. So this is the name of the container that was earlier created. This is the image that is being used. Then the password, the root password is what we have over here. So if I should run this, it will prompt me to enter a password. But before I even do that, what I will do is, let me remove this so that we can see the error that it gives. Yeah, so you can see it says the input device is not TTY. If you are using Mint, try prefixing the command with WinPty. So because I am using MintTTY, so that's why I need to prefix this with WinPty, because but if I were to be using command prompt, I wouldn't need to do that. So I hope I can still remember my password. Frankly, I have 456. So I'm entering enter. So it's telling me I should enter my password now. The IO 456. And I'm into MySQL. So we have our MySQL running already, and we just two commands. So we didn't need to go through all the configuration. I mean, I have XAMPP set up. If I wanted to go into PHP I would start up my XAMPP server and MySQL. I will ensure the ports are in place, and so many things can go wrong. But in a few seconds, by just running these two commands, I am in my SQL. So let's try some MySQL command and see how it works. So let me use show databases. Let's see if, yeah, you can see the default databases that are in MySQL. Then let me create a database. So let's say create um database DB frankly let's create this database. Yeah, so now let me show database again, and you can see the newly created database. Then we can use DB frankly um yeah, so we have changed our database, and we can create a table over here and slot in values. So this is a full-fledged database. So let me create a table. I will still be deleting this, but um, let me create a simple table. I'll just copy this table for pets. Yeah, so these are table, and these are our columns: name of the pet, owner, species, the sex, the birth date, and the death date. Okay, so um, let's do this. Yeah, so now let's insert just a single value into our table. Yeah, so we added um information into our tip. So this is the point I'm trying to make, is that this is the full-fledged, this is a database, and whatsoever you can work with in the usual MySQL shell, you can also do them here. So Docker makes life very easy and it's so convenient for me. So in subsequent videos, I'll be showing you, we are going to be creating a .NET application, and that .NET application will be connecting to this database. So even though I don't have MySQL server installed, a server for MySQL installed in my computer, I can um, I can use MySQL client. So right now we are accessing the database using the container, but in subsequent videos, we are going to be seeing how we can access that database from MySQL clients outside of the database. Then we are going to be building an application that will be using a connection string that contains information about this, our server, our host, and our database. And we are going to be able to read in data from the database completely outside of the container using port mapping and things around that. So it's very, very interesting. Docker is something that it's a skill that if you don't have, you should go and learn, because I mean, some months ago, I wanted to install WordPress, and instead of installing it natively, the usual way I install WordPress, could just um, I could just run a WordPress application using Docker, rather than ensuring that Apache was installed, ensuring that MySQL was working, ensuring that all the dependencies for WordPress. So instead of installing, usually I install XAMPP, but instead of installing XAMPP, I was able to get WordPress working by just running a single Docker Compose file. So it's very interesting. So we'll be ending the video here. If you find it informative, do ensure you like, you share, and you subscribe. Yeah, have a nice day, everyone.